love it.
I never knew that a kid like me could take his mic around the world and flash the big ass thing and rock the masses. From Madrid to Calabasas, Tijuana, Mexico, through the devils in Tokyo. Say they know me though.
That's what's up, guys. Welcome to another episode of Roofing Underground. I'm your host, Dave Taggart, the Roof Poppy. Got it on my hat. It's all over the place. Anyways, wanted to take a second, and we're going to chit-chat today about something that I think a lot of us are probably dealing with from time to time, whether it be inside of our business or whether it be inside of our marriage or as our roles as fathers to our kids. There's this thing that we sometimes do, and I refer to it as the hero complex, okay? And the reason why I refer to it as the hero complex is because it's like you have to be the hero in the situation. Like, you take on more than you probably should. You try to, oh man, I'm the only one, I'll handle shit and blah, blah, blah. You're the guy that bears the burden for handling all the bullshit in life, right? For solving all the problems and making sure you just don't feel like anybody else can really apply the amount of pressure necessary for you to get done what you need to be done, so that way you can live your life, your business can operate, everything's okay. You have to be the guy carrying the world on your shoulders. Captain Save-A-Ho, right? No other way to do this. You are just always trying to be the fucking best whatever for everybody else. If that's you, because sometimes that's me too, we're going to have a conversation today, and we might get you some help, okay? So again, the hero complex. So like, I was thinking about this the other day. I was driving down the road, and I was like, man, I am fucking tired. Like, I am burnt. There's a large part of me that's just, I need a day off. And I was driving back from San Antonio, taking care of a situation with one of our homeowners and one of our roofs that we had did down there. Got everything handled, came back up to DFW. Homeowner super happy with everything we did. And that whole relationship went great. But I took it really personal to go handle myself. And I'm wondering, was that the right call? Should I be doing this? Am I saving face with the customer at the expense of the business? And does the business need me somewhere else? And could I have somebody do this? And, just all these things. And at the end of the day, it was like extreme ownership, right? Fuck it. Go in, kick down the door, solve this motherfucking problem. And then everybody goes on with the rest of their life just happy as can be. The problem is that when you are trying to be everything, right? If you're trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho to everybody, in every situation, your business, your marriage, your father, your kids, your parents, and other relationships and sports and so on and so forth, you're going to get burnt out. It is hard consistently to be that person all the time. This is not an easy thing. Through personal development and things of that nature, you will learn that executing, or even in sales and sports, it doesn't matter. If you do something at a high enough volume, repetitiously, over and over and over again, consistently, it is tiring. It takes a lot to operate at a super high volume in sales or super high score set in athletics, or whatever it is you're doing. It takes a lot from you. It can be very draining. When you're being Captain Save-A-Ho, when you're living in the hero complex and you're trying to solve all these problems and you're running in a million different directions, there are signs that you will miss if you're not paying attention that are telling you that you are doing, you're teetering on the edge. I'm not going to say you're doing too much, because you're probably doing what you need to do to be stupid uncomfortable and grow in that place. So what I am going to tell you is, if you are not heeding the warning signs, this shit can overtake you very easily and push you off that path of growth from pressure into something negative. So here are some of the things that we look at that are some of the warning signs. Number one, start paying attention to your self-talk. Now, this is weird because most people will tell you, oh, when you see this or when you hear that, this is an internal thing. This has nothing to do with external resources or pressure from an outside sense. What this has to do with is, how much shit can you take as an individual? How much shit can you take as an individual and still execute in an efficient manner? And that is different for everybody. What I do know is the people that live in this realm of constant high pressure execution have typically a lot of the same personality traits. And one of the things that we do when we start feeling incapable or second guessing, we have this negative self-talk. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in over my head. What do I do here? Am I going to make the right? Da, 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 da. And then we start saying the real shit, the imposter syndrome stuff. I shouldn't be like, I'm not. I told you, dude, what are you thinking? You're crazy. Now, this may be just like, first year business problems. I don't know. And I'm sure I've heard plenty of podcasts where people have talked about high level executors, high level CEOs and owners of businesses sitting around a table and feeling that even though their company is a $250 million corporation, they feel like they don't belong at that table. And that's a weird concept to me because I have friends that are operating in the tens of millions of dollars, and I am not operating in the tens of millions of dollars. But I do know that when they get together, a lot more than I talk. For sure, I'm listening a lot more than I talk because there's something to be learned. Time to talk. When you're in front of the guru, it's not time to talk. It's time to listen. So one of the things, again, backtrack, one of the things that we do with these types of personalities is we have the negative self-talk. The imposter syndrome. That's the little bitch voice, right? You've probably heard it referred to as your little bitch voice. Your little bitch voice comes out and tells you, you shouldn't have made that call. I told you firing that guy was a bad idea. You don't know what you're doing, man. What are you going to do? Like, man, all these people are counting on you to execute. These people need you to do this. You can't pull this shit off, man. You're going to fail. You're going to fail them. You're going to fail yourself. You're going to fail your fucking kids. Like, whatever the case may be, that stuff. Why me? Why am I dealing with it? I can't do this. Who am I to do this? That's the imposter syndrome. And one of the things that I learned, I actually had a conversation with Mike Claudio one time, and I asked him, shout out Big Silverback, Mike Claudio. I said, we talked about imposter syndrome, and he told me that, and even said in a podcast too, we actually had a conversation about the podcast. And he told me in the conversation that shit only shows up when you're already doing what you thought it was you weren't capable of doing. And so looking back at that, we come to realize that when you start to have the negative self-talk, when the bullshit's going between your ears, back and forth through your mind, you're probably already involved in the shit that you are second guessing yourself about. And so if you can identify that negative self-talk, the little bitch voice, the imposter syndrome, when you can see these little things creeping up, if you have the same disc type personality or whatever, you'll be able to identify this shit is going down a path that I don't want this to go down, and it can get super detrimental. So you can balance yourself, bring yourself back into this place of growth through extreme discomfort and pressure, and not veer off into like a mental health territory or letting it compound and build upon you to where it actually you self-sabotage whatever goal it is you're trying to do. So learn to pay attention to those. There's two things that we can do. We can either, when we start to feel this burnout, when we start to feel this second guessing, when we start to see that we're living in the hero complex and we're just doing too fucking much, we can sit back and look and we can realize that there's two things we have control over, either the pressure or the weight. And I'll explain what that is. You can always slow down. You can always reduce the pressure, the volume at which you're moving. You can always slow down. The problem that you can't do, it's like carrying a boulder. You can always slow down and not use so much energy. But you can't always get rid of the weight. So there's still going to be some shit at the end of the day that you have to do. There's things that are necessary. There's things that are going to be unexcusable. There's shit that you're going to have to do. And those are some of the things that you need to be able to identify to prioritize so that you're doing the shit. I use the power list method. There's things that you can do to prioritize the stuff that you are supposed to fucking do versus the stuff that you would like to do. And if it is not a supposed to do, you supposed to do this, right? If it is not something that you are supposed to fucking do, have somebody else do it. That's plain and simple. I had to learn through my own example, through my own lessons, that there are some things that you should be delegating as leadership. You should be passing out to person X, to person Y, or to person Z, and entrusting them to carry the brand, the vision, and the future forward for you and for the business. Now, there are some things, listen to me very carefully, there are some things that you are going to have to fucking do yourself. Because a multitude of reasons. Number one, nobody's going to care about your vision and goal quite like you are. And that's probably why we push ourselves so goddamn hard sometimes. Is because we believe it. We've internalized it. I know what my future and my goals are. And I want my team to believe it too. So we fucking go, 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 go. All the time. It's possible. It is absolutely extremely possible to do any amount of exercise or effort that you want to do in a shortest period of time if you're willing to work a lot fucking harder. If you want to maintain your time being the hero to everybody and spending that much energy, I've been trying to tell you guys for 2 years. I've been talking to y'all about it for 2 years now. This shit takes a lot of personal development. It is going to require you to grow, fucking grow. It is going to put you business and entrepreneurship. If you want to be a high level anything, it is going to take you a lot of time spent learning how to be intentionally uncomfortable, solving as many problems as you can, and building that value in you as a person or as a brand. It is going to take time. It is going to take a lot of energy, and it's going to take a lot of fucking growth from you as a person. So if you are not into personal development, changing your self-talk, if you can't sit back and identify your thinking errors or the behaviors that you encounter when you are in high pressure situations where you feel like the burnout is coming, it takes personal development. It takes time growing in your individuality as a person, as a successful person who is aware, who's living their life intentionally, not just getting by Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It takes time, effort, and energy to grow that person who is aware of what's happening to them, who can say, I need to change courses because if I continue down this path or this path, who can identify the imposter syndrome. It takes growth, time, and energy to develop the kind of personality that can change the course of their life by looking at what's happening to them and being aware of their surroundings and their pressure and their anxiety and all these other things. Like this is a very delicate, this is not, it's so much easier. God damn. I was just having this conversation when I was an electrician and I used to work at a dairy plant in San Antonio. I used to clock in. I would go to my job at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I would clock in, and from 1 to, I think it was 11 or 10. From 1 to 11, I was an electrical maintenance coordinator. So I would sit around and I would wait for some shit to go wrong. And sometimes everything would go wrong. And some nights nothing would go wrong. And I still made the same $21.50 an hour or whatever the hell it was back then. No matter what. Same thing. Overpay or overtime and some fucking, they had like a 401k and some health benefits and stuff like that. But literally, I would clock in and I got paid no matter how hard I worked. I got paid the same fucking bill every time. $21.50 an hour. Whether I sat on my ass or I busted my ass that fucking week. It never mattered. I got the same amount of money no matter what. I didn't really know that you could choose. I knew you could be in sales. I knew this was a thing. I didn't know the industry of sales until I went into business for myself. And I went into business for myself after learning some things about personal development. And I saw that a lot of the same people I was noticing in personal development, the first person was Eric Thomas, and he had a lot to do with other people's sales. And I noticed that these people that had similar commonalities like traits, Myron Golden, all these other, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, and all these guys that I got into and listening to them, they all had a high degree of sales. And that's when I kind of put things together and I realized, oh man, I can make a shit ton of money if I get into sales. So I started selling myself as a contractor. Hey, let me do your tile. Let me fix your fence. Let me do this. Let me do that. Da, 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 da. And I busted my ass all the fucking time. And I was always trying to be everything to my kids, myself, my everything. And that's when I really first started learning about imposter syndrome and a hero complex and how you can burn yourself out trying to do so fucking much. If you're going to live your life at that high level of execution, again, let me say it in case you missed it, it's going to take a high level of personal development. I've been trying to tell you motherfuckers for 2 years now. You cannot do what you want to do living your life the way you've always lived it. If you want to do something better, if you want to change, if you want to be able to identify these problems, you have to be able to grow as a person, to know what you're doing, to be able to see it coming, identify the behaviors that need to change, be so fucking aware that you can see the shit a mile away, and then you can control the rest of your fucking life. That's what you can do. Get to know yourself. Spend some time educating yourself. Learn about your mind. Learn about your likes and your dislikes and what makes you uncomfortable in business, what makes you uncomfortable in parenting and fatherhood. Find out what it's going to take for you to grow and then fucking do it. My name is Dave Taggart. I'm the Roof Poppy, the owner of A5 Roofing here at Roofing Underground. Thanks for being a part of our show today. Definitely appreciate you guys stopping by. If you would please do me a solid favor, like the show, share this shit with all your friends so that they can get a little glimpse of what it's like for you and what it takes for you and the kind of people that you listen to when you're trying your best to change your fucking life and take control of everything that you do. This is the kind of stuff that we listen to. So I want you to share this with your friends so that they can grow their lives. They can level up too. They said it's lonely at the top. Shit. Not over here, bro. All my friends are up here. We'll see y'all later.